Hey, today I'm going to be making something very special. My name is Urantia and I make jewelry, and this is our dog Dexter, and he's a sweet, sweet angel. Seriously, he's a wonderful 10-year-old lab who is just the most chill, happy, just fun-loving to be around. But last year, around this time, he unexpectedly became very ill. His eyes became swollen and he was lethargic and just not being himself, and it didn't look good. We took him to the vet numerous times where he had blood work done and various tests run, and all of the tests came back inconclusive, and the vet told us that he was likely not going to make it and that we had a very difficult decision to make. And we were trying to wrap our head around the idea that we would not be spending Christmas with him. But then, just before Christmas, he started getting better, and then he kept getting better and better. And on Christmas Day, it was as if he was never even sick to begin with. And he's been fine ever since. I mean, we still don't know what the mysterious illness was or where he got it from, but we're just happy to have him around for another Christmas. However, as the anniversary of that dreadful time is approaching, I can't help but think of the inevitable. I mean, not to be grim, but he will be turning 11 soon. So I thought it would be a good idea to make Dexter-themed jewelry and then give that away as gifts to the people who love him. I saw this post on Pinterest a while ago of someone making a fingerprint ring, and I thought that's something that I could potentially replicate, but using Dex's nose or paw. But we'll see how that goes. So my idea is to design a pendant and a couple of rings, and then 3D print the designs, and then cast the 3D printed designs in brass, and then make molds from the casts, and then make wax replicas of the designs, and then use those to do the imprints. Now, this might not make sense right now, but just hang in there. I'm sure it'll all make sense in the end, or I hope it does. I designed a basic ring in Blender, and then I also designed a small pendant, and then used an existing signet style ring design, which I then 3D printed. Okay, so now that these have been 3D printed, this is what I ended up with. I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. I just need to remove all of the supports and then clean them up, and then I can cast them in brass. Okay, so I cast 3 pieces that I'm going to be cleaning up and then polishing, and then that's step 1 done. Okay, these are starting to actually look good. So I tried to come up with the idea how to attach the rings to the sprue makers, and I thought that maybe shellac would be a good way to do it. Shellac actually comes from the shellac bug, which produces this sticky substance, which is a fun fact. Well, that didn't last very long. I don't know if I'm using the shellac wrong or what the problem is, but it's just not holding. Like, they keep falling off. So I'm gonna try something else that's not gonna make my entire desk sticky and full of brown. CA glue and an accelerant. And that's so much neater. Like, I can actually control that. That's perfect. Now that these are finally on the sprue makers, I'm gonna make silicone molds. So this is a high temperature food grade silicone that I found works really well and holds up very well when injecting it with hot wax. Okay, it's the next day and I just took out the silicone mold. I think it's looking good, but we'll only really know once I cut into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Just gonna clean this off first. So this is where I'm going to be injecting the wax into. So I want to make sure that this is clean and that nothing obstructs the wax flowing in. I'm not very good at mold making yet. Hopefully I'll get there. I think I'm gonna cut around this so that I can inject all 3 of them. Okay, that's the little disc. I might have ruined this. If you're a pro at making molds, please leave some tips in the comments, because I am not very well versed in mold making. Well, that is an ugly mold. Easy peasy. Okay, so what's left to do now is to inject the wax. Let's get some wax in. Okay, so the necklace came out really well. I'm very happy with that. So after cleaning everything up a bit, this is what I'm left with. They are by no means perfect, but I think for the purposes of what I'm trying to achieve, they're gonna be just fine. So now the actual fun begins. I'm gonna have to convince Dexter to let me do the imprint. We'll see how that goes. I'm gonna go in like this, okay? It's not, you're not even gonna feel it. I'm trying. This is his paw and his nose print. It turned out so cute. I did some tests before I started with Dex. Dogs' noses are very sensitive and I wanted to be sure not to hurt him or to get the wax so warm that it irritates him. And now I'm going to clean them up a little bit and then get them on a sprue and then cast them tonight. What's also cool about dogs' noses is that everyone is unique. It's sort of like their fingerprints. Oh, these look great. And now it's time to cut off the sprues and to sand and polish them. I am so thrilled with how incredibly detailed these turned out. I love them and I think they're going to make wonderful gifts. It's also so special to think that I'm going to be able to carry a piece of Dexter with me forever. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and I thank you for watching. And they make wax replicas of and then make molds from the casts, and then make weet jy moet nie inwees nie. Ja, dankie vir die bygeluide.
Skielik ek het eers aan gedink nie.